Stoic strategies for dealing with difficult people. Introduction. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. Marcus Aurelius. Difficult people are unavoidable. They can be rude, demanding, irrational, or even outright hostile. Whether it's an overbearing boss, a critical family member, or an aggressive stranger, we all encounter those who test our patience. The Stoics, however, saw difficult people not as obstacles, but as teachers. They believed that the way we respond to them defines our character. Instead of frustration, Stoicism teaches us to respond with wisdom, patience, and self-mastery. Let's explore how the Stoics dealt with difficult people and how we can apply their strategies in our daily lives. Why do we struggle with difficult people? Imagine a young Roman named Julius, a merchant eager to sell his goods in the bustling marketplace of Rome. He works hard, treats customers fairly, and expects the same respect in return. But one day, a wealthy senator mocks his wares, calling them cheap and unworthy of his time. Humiliated, Julius clenches his fists, barely restraining his anger. Later, he complains to a Stoic philosopher. "Why do people have to be so cruel? Why must I endure such insults?" The philosopher smiles and replies, "My friend, why do you assume the world should only give you kindness? Do you expect the ocean to be calm just because you wish it? The waves will rise whether you like it or not. Your job is not to stop the waves, but to learn how to sail through them." Like Julius, we struggle with difficult people because we expect the world to be fair. We believe people should act rationally and respectfully, but that is not reality. We take offense easily. When someone is rude or aggressive, we feel personally attacked and react emotionally. We try to change others. We waste energy trying to correct difficult people instead of managing our own response. We lack emotional control. Anger, frustration, and resentment cloud our judgment, making things worse. But the Stoics teach us that we cannot demand perfect behavior from others, only from ourselves. Instead of fighting reality, we must learn how to navigate it. The Stoic approach to handling difficult people. The Dichotomy of Control. Focus on what you can change. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The sun sets over the Roman battlefield. Cassius, a hardened general, paces before his tent, his face tight with frustration. A rebellious soldier under his command openly disrespects him, mocking his orders, sneering behind his back. Cassius has tried everything: stern warnings, severe punishments, even reasoning with a man. Nothing works. The insubordination gnaws at him like a festering wound. That evening, seeking wisdom, he visits the philosopher Epictetus, who sits by a modest fire, unshaken by the world's chaos. Cassius blurts out his frustration. "What should I do?" He refuses to change. Epictetus looks up calmly. "Tell me, General, can you control the winds?" Cassius frowns. "Of course not. Can you command the tides to rise and fall as you wish?" "No." Epictetus smiles. "Then why waste energy trying to control another man's mind? The winds will blow, the tides will turn, and fools will act foolishly. Your power lies not in changing them, but in adjusting your sails. Master yourself, General. That is where true strength lies." Stoic strategy. When dealing with difficult people, remind yourself, you cannot control their behavior, only your response. Ask yourself, am I wasting energy trying to change this person? How can I shift my focus to something within my control? Exercise. The next time someone irritates you, pause. Instead of reacting, ask, is this within my control? If not, let it go like the wind passing through the trees. Assume ignorance, not malice. Whenever someone's lack of shame offends you, you should immediately ask yourself, so what? Is it really so surprising that an ignorant person acts ignorantly? Marcus Aurelius. A philosopher named Seneca walks through a bustling Roman street, deep in thought. Suddenly, a drunken man stumbles into him, shoving him aside. The crowd gasps, waiting for an outburst. His companion, furious, urges him, "Why didn't you say something? Why let him treat you that way?" Seneca dusts off his robe, unbothered. Would you scold a dog for barking? A child for crying? Then why be angry at a fool for acting foolishly? Stoic strategy. Most difficult people are not acting out of deep malice, but out of ignorance, insecurity, or personal struggles. They are slaves to their own weaknesses. Instead of taking offense, assume they lack wisdom rather than deliberately trying to harm you. A rude cashier? Perhaps they've had a day full of difficult customers. A reckless driver? Maybe they are rushing to a hospital. A disrespectful coworker? Perhaps they are struggling with insecurities they hide behind arrogance. Exercise. When someone acts rudely, breathe and remind yourself. They are acting from ignorance, not evil. I will not take this personally. Respond with virtue, not emotion. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Marcus Aurelius. The banquet hall is alive with laughter and chatter. The Roman senator Gaius enjoys his meal when suddenly, a rival, jealous and drunk, hurls an insult across the table. The room goes silent, eyes darting toward Gaius, expecting a furious reply. Instead, Gaius simply smiles and takes another sip of wine. The insulter scoffs, demanding, "Do you have nothing to say for yourself?" Gaius leans back and replies calmly, "I do not let fools dictate my actions." The room erupts in whispers, not about the insult, but about Gaius's unshakable self-control. Stoic strategy. Difficult people thrive on reactions. When we respond with anger or resentment, we give them power. Instead, act with dignity and self-mastery. Light bulb exercise. The next time someone insults you, practice the Stoic pause. Breathe, relax your face, and respond with calm detachment. Let them drown in their own bitterness while you remain untouchable. Practice negative visualization. Expect difficult people. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall meet interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." Marcus Aurelius. Imagine a stoic warrior waking at dawn, strapping on his armor. He does not expect peace. He does not assume the day will be easy. He expects battle. Likewise, each morning, we must prepare for difficult people. Instead of being caught off guard, tell yourself, "Today, I will meet someone who is rude. Someone will be selfish, ungrateful, or dishonest. But I am ready. They will not shake me. They will not take my peace." Stoic strategy. By expecting difficult people, we train ourselves to be resilient instead of reactive. We see them as part of life, not as personal attacks. Exercise. Each morning, visualize an encounter with a difficult person. Imagine yourself responding with wisdom and calm. Then, when the real test comes, you will already be prepared. Real-world applications of Stoic strategies. Dealing with workplace conflict. The meeting room is tense. Your manager publicly criticizes your work, unfairly and harshly. Eyes shift toward you, waiting for your reaction. A younger version of you might have snapped back, defensive and wounded. But today, you choose the Stoic path. You take a slow breath, steady your voice, and ask, "What specifically can I improve?" The room shifts. Instead of engaging in an emotional battle, you have turned the conversation into something productive. from attack to improvement, from conflict to logic. Lesson: difficult people lose power when we refuse to engage in drama. Instead of fueling conflict, shift the focus to solutions. Handling family drama. At every family gathering, it's the same: that one relative who complains about everything and criticizes everyone. You used to argue. You used to try to prove your point. But today, you do something different. You listen without letting it get to you. You nod occasionally, not in agreement, but in understanding. And when they pause for breath, instead of arguing, you simply change the subject to something neutral. Later, you leave the gathering feeling light, not because they have changed, but because you have. Lesson: not every battle is worth fighting. Some conflicts dissolve on their own when met with silence. Facing rude strangers. A stranger cuts you off in traffic. Your heart jumps, and for a split second, anger flares. But then you hear Marcus Aurelius in your mind. Expect this. There will always be fools. But will you be one of them? You breathe out. Maybe they're in a rush. Maybe they're just thoughtless. Either way, it's not worth your peace. You let it go and move on with your day, unshaken. Lesson: we cannot control others, but we can control our own inner calm. Peace is a choice. Every day, life will test your patience. The world will throw difficult people your way. But the true test is not them, it is you. Final words of Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius: when someone is unkind, it is their problem, not yours. Do not let their poison become yours. Epictetus: if a person gave your body to a stranger, you would be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you. Seneca: a wise man is above insult. He is too great for what others think of him. Conclusion: difficult people are inevitable. They exist in every era, every city, every workplace. But they are not our enemies. They are our training. The next time someone tests your patience, ask yourself, am I in control of my response? Is this worth my peace? How can I turn this into wisdom? You have two choices. Let them steal your peace, drag you into anger, and make you suffer. Or remain unshaken, untouchable, a master of yourself. Choose the Stoic path. Choose wisdom over reaction. Choose strength over weakness. The world will test you. Will you pass the test? Reflection questions. 1. Who is the most difficult person in your life? How can you apply Stoicism to deal with them? 2. Which strategy resonated with you the most? 3. How will you train yourself to handle difficult people better? Thank you for attending this lecture. Now, go and practice wisdom.